So today we're going to talk about vignettes versus memoirs. So this is just a review from what we've been learning in class. So as a reminder, authors use different techniques in writing to share or express their own personal ideas and memories. For example, some authors will use the following. They might write a memoir, which is a biographical or autobiographical collection of memories from a person's life. Or they may write a small vignette, which is a short scene that focuses on one particular topic or event. Today, you are going to be practicing writing your first vignette, and you can pick about any moment in time that meant something to you. Before I show some examples, let's look at the expectations. So it focuses on one small moment. It's usually less than 1,000 words. It uses a lot of sensory details. It also uses a lot of figurative language, similes, metaphors, etc. It also will help the reader see in their mind what's actually happening. Really help me visualize what happened in the moment. It's really about a scene or a situation that actually happened. So this isn't going to be a fake story you're writing. It's going to be a very short story that is going to have figurative language, sensory details, and it's going to be about one or two specific moments in time. Okay, here are some examples. Track and field. It seems as if the rain will never stop pouring on me. As the gray sky hovers over the track, my silver spikes smash the tartan track. So right now I already see where it discusses the gray sky. That's really descriptive. And it says the gray sky hovers over the track. That'd be an example of personification because gray sky can actually physically hover over something. And then it talks about my silver spikes smash. That would be alliteration. Silver spikes smash the tartan track. At the starting line, I was so confident. Now, after running 600 meters, I am still confident. But with every step, it feels like I'm dragging the weight of the world. So that would be a simile. It feels like I'm dragging the weight of the world. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. I tell myself while finally crossing the finish line. Now the sun decides to peek from the clouds as if my own gold medal. So right there, it's showing that sun deciding to peek from the clouds. That would be more personification because the sun does not have a personality. It can't decide something. And then peeking out from the clouds as if my own gold medal. So you could consider that to be a symbolism of sorts, or perhaps even a simile saying the sun is his own medal, his or her medal. Today is the day we've all been training for, our first track meet of the season. And while packed on the bus like sardines, we laugh and joke trying to pass the time, while we arrive and quickly scurry off the bus. So notice how it says they are packed on the bus like sardines. So that would be another example of a simile. As the last event is called, the 4x800, a dark cloud covers the track. All teams begin to line up as quickly as possible, hoping to avoid the rain. My teammate is the first leg, and while the three of us on the sidelines wish her good luck, the gun pops and the race begins. So there with the gun pops would be some onomatopoeia. So notice how there's a lot of really descriptive words in this vignette, and it really helped me understand how this writer is feeling and what they are going through emotionally. Here's another example. Starts off with some onomatopoeia. Clink, 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 clink. The sound of his ratchet tool was loud. My stepdad had trouble removing that old rusty bolt from the caliper. Clink, clink, snap. Some more onomatopoeia there. The bolt finally came off. Watching my stepdad work on cars to me was like solving a puzzle. So that would be a simile. It was like solving a puzzle. So obviously that tells me as a reader it was tricky and there were certain steps to it and it was somewhat hard to learn. He always had to find the problem, fix it, then put it back together. My stepdad's shop is a total mess. Ratchets, bolts, other tools laying everywhere, grease stains on the walls, unswept floor, and whenever you walk into his shop, you're greeted with a strong, oily grease smell. So that's really focusing in on the senses and those sensory details. But aside from the mess, being in his shop has taught me a lot. So this kind of lets me know that this child spends a lot of time with their stepdad in their shop where they probably fix cars of some sort, and he's got a lot of examples of onomatopoeia and figurative language. So here's the poster for figurative language. I did go over these in my other video, and there is an example posted on the assignment for reading today. These are some examples. And then here's some author's craft techniques. Make sure that you include some of these in your vignette as well. Description, the author uses sights, sounds, smells, and more to describe what's happening. Humor, the author could use humor. Now, obviously, if you're not writing a funny vignette, you would not use humor. Inner thoughts, the author could use his or her inner thoughts and feelings. You could also use dialogue, so people talking. Don't forget your quotation marks. You could use a mood and a setting where you paint a picture of the mood and the setting throughout, so as you're writing, I can really see and feel like I'm actually there. Actions, the author would use a lot of action to describe what's happening in the story. So, for example, in this story, the boy is describing using the onomatopoeia to describe what's happening. The ratchet is moving, the bolt's finally coming off. Okay, and then meaningful interaction. So the author makes it a point to show that an interaction between characters is deep and lesson learning. So, for example, in this one about the child and their stepdad, this is showing that, yeah, okay, so the shop is really gross and really dirty, and working on cars is like solving a puzzle, but ultimately this kid is learning a lot. They're learning a lot from their stepdad, just being around them and spending that time with them. Okay, and then of course a specific motif or a problem. So the author focuses on a specific problem. For example, failure, rejection, bad luck, lost friendship, jealousy, etc. Really think about what kind of a theme you're wanting your vignette to have, because once we combine all of our vignettes together, we're going to want them to come around as a common theme. Okay, and so this is the first one we've really written, so you get to kind of start off with a specific theme if you already know what theme you want to go with. Okay, so again, don't forget to include author's craft techniques. Don't forget to include figurative language. Here are again the expectations. And you will, you can either go ahead and type this out on Notepad and copy paste into Seesaw, or you can write it on paper and take a picture and send it to me, whichever way works for you. Okay, can't wait to read what you've written.